This planet is just a total mystery.
It really is. I mean, you gotta think about it. They use the sun shadows to clock time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it probably wasn't even time for them at one point. It was just to realize what the sun was. They was probably just studying the sun's rotation. Nothing to do with time. Time is infinite. It doesn't end. It goes on and on, right?
I was surely about to say that's the first Rolex.
The first Rolex was in the sky. No lie. That's why it's, yeah. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Yes,
Super excited about this video. If you're new to us and
we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about a very unique and incredible stone site that we have discovered in southern Africa in the province of Mpumalanga. We call it Adam's Calendar. Previously we called it the Johann Heine Stone Calendar Site because it was originally picked up by a friend of mine called Johann Heine. Johann is a pilot, has been flying over the Mpumalanga area for the past 20 years, photographing ancient stone ruins, and then one day when one of his pilots went missing and they found the plane crashed along down a cliff of a mountain, and they were flying to rescue the pilot who was sitting on the edge of the mountain waiting to be rescued, Johann noticed this strange arrangements of rocks on the edge of this mountaintop. After walking up there and taking a closer look at it, he realized that this is no ordinary collection of stones just randomly standing around. And a few days later he came back and he started measuring this site, and he realized that this was certainly not an accident and a fluke of nature, that these stones and monoliths were placed there with a specific purpose in mind. And he came back and he started watching the movement of the sun, and he realized that it was perfectly aligned with the movements of the sun, and that it was aligned with east, west, north, south. And he started measuring the site and the rocks, and he realized that there was a perfect alignment intended by whoever built the site.
I think that's beautiful. Someone obviously built it, left it there, but the way they document it is so different from what we look at in 2023. You know what I'm saying? In 2023, we see something. Well, not we, but some people see things and they say they discovered it. But in reality, it was already there before it needed to be discovered. Right. Someone had put it there for his own purpose. So it wasn't even a discovery. It was actually there before your discovery even became a discovery.
Right. I wonder, you know, so Mpumalanga, okay, so we just learned about this area. So I'm not really sure of the ethnic groups that are in that area, but I wonder, like, if they knew or if they know of, you know, the story behind it.
I mean, pretty much so. I would think they would. I mean, like, you got to think about your neck of the woods. If you grew up in a certain area and you never moved from there, I'm pretty sure you didn't see the whole 9 yards of that type of environment.
Yeah, but I wonder how long ago this was, you know, put there.
I think in the beginning he said over 200,000 years.
Oh, right.
I think he said over 200.
That's a long time.
So a lot of people has came across it. Facts.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And we've subsequently done a lot more work, a lot more exploration. We had geologists and astronomers and archaeologists up there, and had and historians, and looked at it from various different ways, and we came to the conclusion that this is in fact now the oldest man-made site on Earth. From the research and the putting the pieces of the puzzle together, we figure that it is probably around 75,000 years old. Johann is still feeling that it might be around 25,000 years old. We are still deliberating, but a lot of the evidence seems to be pointing towards a 75,000 year mark and possibly older. Just to tell you a bit about the rock formation, the monoliths and the The whole site was originally actually a circular site, pretty much like Stonehenge, with giant monoliths all around the sides. Many of them have now fallen over, and you'll see that in our new book. Many of them have fallen over. Many of them have been covered by soil, thousands of years of soil shift and soil erosion, because once a rock falls down and you have a flash flood, it gets covered by soil quite quickly. And yet the two main center rocks remain standing up, although they had a slight incline towards the edge of the cliff. What we found most interesting, and this is what really excites me, is that we found 3 giant monoliths on the edge of this original giant stone circle that have fallen down. And these 3 monoliths, if picked up into their original place, would have pointed to some sort of a stellar constellation or star formation. And when we looked at which stars would have been in the sky at that area just south of the vernal equinox, we came to the conclusion that that would have been Orion's belt, and the 3 main stars of Orion's belt would have risen beautifully just before sunrise at the vernal equinox, would have been beautifully lying flat on the horizon, pointed to by these 3 monoliths on the edge. While today Orion's belt rises pretty much vertically in the sky, 75,000 years ago it would have been horizontal. And this is what we discovered. What is exciting about this is that if Adam's calendar is indeed 75,000 years old, we may be looking at the builders and architects of much more famous and impressive structures many thousand years later, like the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Pyramids of Mexico, and also, for those of you who don't know, the pyramids in China. There are about 120 of these pyramids in China that we have recently discovered. There's been a closely guarded secret by the Chinese government for many, many years. Because all these areas and all these pyramids, many thousands of years later, were also aligned to Orion's belt. So now we have a direct link between Adam's calendar, which we suggest is the oldest man-made site on Earth, and the pyramids that have been built later. They were all aligned with Orion's belt. Now that leaves a great deal more to be discovered and for us to explore and start drawing the links to these original architects, if they were indeed the same architects and the same builders and the same early civilization of humans that had knowledge of planet Earth that we are only rediscovering today. So that's some stuff to consider and contemplate and digest in the meantime. Look out for Adam's calendar. It should be in a bookstore near you.
To be in a bookstore, okay, yes sir.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
That is interesting.
It is.
And a lot of times we talk about, you know, people of the past. And we talk about them as, like, we studied them because they knew way more about this planet than we know.
Yeah, yeah.
And just how in tune they were.
A whole lot more hands-on. Yep.
How in tune they were.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And the fact that it all plays together. Now, I got to say, y'all, in college, I took this course. Don't ask me why. I'm just an inquisitive person. I took an astrology course. I passed it with flying colors, but it had nothing to do with my degrees.
Nah, that's nice, though.
At all. So just learning about how all of it goes back to it is like, this planet is just a total mystery.
It really is. I mean, you got to think about it. They use the sun shadows to clock time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it probably wasn't even time for them at one point. It was just to realize what the sun was. They was probably just studying the sun's rotation. Nothing to do with time. Time is infinite. It doesn't end. It goes on and on, right?
I was surely about to say that's the first Rolex.
The first Rolex was in the sky. No lie. That's why it's, that's fine. And then you got to think about if they were studying that, and everything else around it was also part of their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So as it is above, it was below for them. Then it was really hand in hand with it. So we can't even imagine 100%, like literally imagine what they was going through when they was doing these researches then.
Yeah, just
it was
thinking,
different.
Just the mystery of how they lived their lives back then. It just makes me want to get back in tune in nature. Y'all know I'm not a hiker, but I love nature.
It's like one day they laying down and say, hey, let's put these rocks up in. And let's line everything up with the sky. Like,
wondering how long it took them to just study it to, you know, wait for the sun to come back. It worked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Special people.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request forms in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.